details, it creates a bit of a shield for protection. So, let me just see. I think Ananda Prabhu's waiting. So I'll start here. Can everybody see the screen? Did I share the screen? I think I did. This is Narayana Kavacha shield. So I was just thinking these would be really nice to read through. It may take about an hour or so. I'm planning on reading the purports. Dayananda Prabhu, what do you know about the Narayana Kavacha shield? No. Okay. All right, so we'll just read through it, and then if anybody has anything, sticks out to them, feel free to share. Here we go. This chapter describes how Indra, the king of heaven, was victorious over the soldiers of the demons. And it also describes the shield of the Vishnu mantra. To take protection from the shield, one must first touch the grass and wash one's mouth with the mantras. One should observe silence and then place the 8-syllable Vishnu mantra on the parts of his body and place the 12-syllable mantra on his hands. The 8-syllable mantra is Om Namo Narayanaya. This mantra should be distributed all over the front and back of the body. The 12-syllable mantra, which begins with the pranava Omkar, is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One syllable should be placed on each of the fingers and should be preceded by the pranava Omkar. Therefore, one must chant Om Vishnave Namaha, which is a 6-syllable mantra. One must progressively place the syllables of the mantra on the heart, the head, between the 2 eyebrows, on the sika, which is this back part of our head here or here, and between the eyes, and then one should chant Ma Astraya Pat. And with this mantra, protect himself from all directions. Nadevo Devam Archayet. One who has not risen to the level of a deva cannot chant this mantra. According to this direction of the Shastra, one must think himself qualitatively non-different from the Supreme. So these are some of the things that we have to do in order to prepare when we're chanting these mantras, but we're just reading. We should receive the same benefit. After finishing this dedication, one must offer a prayer to the 8-armed Lord Vishnu, who sits on the shoulders of Garuda Dev. One also has to think of the fish incarnation, Vamana, Kurma, Nrsimha, Varaha, Parashuram, Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman, Nara Narayan, Dattatreya, an empowered incarnation, Kapila, Sanat Kumar, Hayagriva, Narada Dev, the incarnation of a devotee, Dhanvantari, Rishabhadev, Yagya, Balaram, Vyasadev, Buddhadev, and Keshava. So these are all full incarnations, partial incarnations, and Mahabhagavats, the great personalities of Krishna. So we should meditate on these different aspects of the Lord, which are also brought up during this prayer. One should also think of Govinda, the master of Vrindavan, and one should think of Narayana, the master of the spiritual sky. One should think of Madhusudana, Tridham, Madhva, Hirshikesh, Padmanabha, Janardana, Damodar, and Veshvara, as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. After offering prayers to the Lord's personal expansions, known as Swamsa and Shaktivesh avatars, one should pray to the weapons of Lord Narayan, such as the Sudarshan, Gada, Shankha, Khadga, and bow. After explaining this process, Sukadev Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit how Vishwarup, the brother of Vritasura, described the glories of the Narayana Kavacha to Indra. So we'll go ahead and start here with text 1 and 2. I'm just going to go into the translations. And kind of, maybe I'll do the Sanskrit and then we'll go into the translations. Shri Rajo Vacham Yaya Gupta Saha Shraksha Savahandri Pusainikan Tridani Va Vinir Jitya Trilokya Bubaje Triyam Bhagavan Stan Mamakyahi Varmanarayanat Makam Yatat Tat Yena Shatrun Yena Gupto Jayan Ridhe. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami, My lord, kindly explain the Vishnu mantra armor that protected King Indra and enabled him to conquer his enemies, along with their carriers, and enjoy the opulence of the three worlds. Please explain to me that Narayan armor by which King Indra achieved success in battle, conquering the enemies who were endeavoring to kill him. Shri Badarayanir Uvacha, Shri Badarayanir Uvacha, Vrita Purohitas Twastro, Mahendrayanu Prichate, Rayanakyam Varmaha, Tad Ihaika Manashrinu. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, King Indra, the leader of the demigods, inquired about the armor known as the Narayan Kavacha from Vishwarup, who is engaged by the demigods as their priest. Please hear Vishwarup's reply with great attention. I think I'll go ahead and just read the translations and purports so that way we can follow along a little bit easier. Translation. Vishwarup said, if some form of fear arrives, one should first wash his hands and legs clean and then perform achaman by chanting this mantra. Om apavitra pavitro va sarva vastam gato piva. Yasmarit pundarit kaksham sabaya bhyantara suchi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Then one should touch kusa grass and sit gravely and silently facing north. When completely purified, one should touch the mantra composed of 8 syllables to the 8 parts of his body and touch the mantra composed of 12 syllables to his hands. Thus, in the following manner, he should bind himself with the Narayan coat of armor. First, while chanting the mantra composed of 8 syllables, Om Namo Narayana, Narayanaya. Beginning with the pranava, the syllable Om, one should touch his hands to 8 parts of his body, starting with the 2 feet and progressing systematically to the knees, thighs, abdomen, heart, chest, mouth, and head. Then one should chant the mantra in reverse, beginning from the last syllable Ya, while touching the parts of his body in the reverse order. These 2 processes are known as the Utpati Nyasa and Samhara Nyasa respectively. Then one should chant the mantra composed of 12 syllables, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, preceding each syllable by the Omkar. One should place the syllables of the mantra on the tips of his fingers, beginning with the index finger of the right hand and concluding with the index finger of the left. The 4 remaining syllables should be placed on the joints of the thumbs. Let's put that there. 8 through 10 here. One must then chant the mantra of 6 syllables, Om Vishnave Namaha. One should place the syllable Om on his heart, the syllable V on the top of his head, the syllable Sa between the eyebrows, the syllable Na on his tuft of hair, Sika, and the syllable Ve between his eyes. The chanter of the mantra should then place the syllable Na on all the joints of his body and meditate on the syllable Ma as being a weapon. He should thus become the perfect personification of the mantra. Thereafter, adding Visarga to the final syllable Ma, he should chant the mantra Ma Astraya Pat in all directions, beginning from the east. In this way, all directions will be bound by the protective armor of the mantra. After finishing this chanting, one should think himself qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full in 6 opulences and is worthy to be meditated upon. Then one should chant the following protective prayer to Lord Narayana, the Narayan Kavacha. Verse 12, translation. The Supreme Lord who sits on the back of the bird Garuda, touching him with his lotus feet, holds 8 weapons, the conch shell, disc, shield, sword, club, arrows, bow, and ropes. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead protect me at all times with his 8 arms, He is all powerful because he fully possesses the 8 mystic powers, anima, laghima, etc. Purport. Thinking oneself one with the Supreme is called ahangrahopasana. Through ahangrahopasana, one does not become God, but he thinks of himself as qualitatively one with the Supreme. Understanding that as a spirit soul, he is equal in quality to the Supreme Soul, the way the water of a river is of the same nature as the water of the sea. One should meditate upon the Supreme Lord as described in this verse and seek his protection. The living entities are always subordinate to the Supreme. Consequently, their duty is to always seek the mercy of the Lord in order to be protected by him in all circumstances. Verse 13, may the Lord who assumes the body of a great fish protect me in the water from the fierce animals that are associates of the demigod Varuna. By expanding his illusory energy, the Lord assumed the form of the dwarf Vamana. May Vamana protect me on the land. Since the gigantic form of the Lord, Vishvarup, conquers the 3 worlds, may he protect me in the sky. Purport. This mantra seeks the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the water, land, and sky in his incarnations as the fish, Vamanadev, and the Vishvarup. 14. May Lord Nrsingadev, who appeared as the enemy of Hiranyakashipu, protect me in all directions. His loud laughing vibrated in all directions and caused the pregnant wives of the Asuras to have miscarriages. Asuras are like demoniac personalities. May that Lord be kind enough to protect me in difficult places like the forest and battlefront. 15. Translation. The Supreme Indestructible Lord is ascertained through the performance of ritualistic sacrifices and is therefore known as Yogeshvara. In his incarnation as Lord Boar, he raised the planet Earth from the water at the bottom of the universe and kept it on his pointed tusk. May that Lord protect me from the rogues on the street. May Parashuram protect me on the tops of mountains. And may the elder brother of Bharat, Lord Ramachandra, along with his brother Lakshman, protect me in foreign countries. Purport. There are 3 Ramas. One Rama is Parashuram, Jamadagya. Another Ram is Lord Ramachandra, and a third Ram is Lord Balaram. In this verse, the words Ramo Dri Kuteshwata indicate Lord Parashuram, the brother of Bharat Maharaj, and Lakshman is Lord Ramachandra. 16. Translation. May Lord Narayana protect me from unnecessarily following false religious systems and falling from my duties due to madness. May the Lord in his appearance as Nara protect me from unnecessary pride. May Lord Dattatreya, the master of all mystic power, protect me from falling while performing bhakti yoga. And may Lord Kapila, the master of all good qualities, protect me from the material bondage of fruitive activities. 17. Translation. May Sanat Kumar protect me from lusty desires. As I begin some auspicious activity, may Lord Hayagriva protect me from being an offender by neglecting to offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord. May Devarishi Narada, protect me from committing offenses in worshiping the deity. And may Lord Kurma, the tortoise, protect me from falling to the unlimited hellish planets. Purport. Lusty desires are very strong in everyone, and they are the greatest impediment to the discharge of devotional service. Therefore, those who are very much influenced by lusty desires are advised to take shelter of Sanat Kumar, the great brahmachari devotee. Narada Muni, who is the guide for Archana, is the author of the Narada Pancharatra, which prescribes the regulative principles for worshiping the deity. Everyone engaged in deity worship, whether at home or in the temple, should always seek the mercy of Devarishi, Narada, in order to avoid the 32 offenses while worshiping the deity. These offenses in deity worship are mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion. 18. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Dhanvantari relieve me from undesirable edibles and protect me from physical illness. May Lord Rishabhadev, who conquered his inner and outer senses, protect me from fear produced by the duality of heat and cold. May Yagya protect me from defamation and harm from the populace. And may Lord Balaram as Shesha protect me from envious serpents. Purport. To live within this material world, one must face many dangers, as described herein. For example, undesirable food poses a danger to health, and therefore one must give up such food. The Dhanvantari incarnation can protect us in this regard.
There's no sound at all now. You're going in and out, but now you've gone away completely. The sound.
How's this? Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. Since Lord Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities, if he likes, he can save us from the Adi Bhautika disturbances from other living entities. Lord Balaram is the Shesha incarnation, and therefore he can save us from angry serpents or envious persons who are always ready to attack. 19. May the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Vyasadeva protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge. May Lord Buddhadev protect me from activities opposed to Vedic principles and from laziness that causes one to madly forget the Vedic principles of knowledge and ritualistic action. May Kalki Dev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as an incarnation to protect religious principles, protect me from the dirt of the age of Kali. Purport. This verse mentions various incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appear for various purposes. Srila Vyasadeva Mahamuni compiled the Vedic literature for the benefit of all human society. If one wants to be protected from the reactions of ignorance, even in this age of Kali, one may consult the books left by Srila Vyasadeva, namely the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, the 108 Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, which is Brahma Sutra, Mahabharat, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahapurana, Vyasadeva's commentary on the Brahma Sutra, and the other 17 Puranas. Only by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva do we have so many volumes of transcendental knowledge to save us from the clutches of ignorance. As described by Srila Jayadev Goswami in his Dash Avatar Stotra, Lord Buddha apparently decried the Vedic knowledge. Nindasi yagya vidher aha shruti jatam zadaya hirdaya darshita pashu gatam keshava dritta buddha sarira jaya jagat isha hare. The mission of Lord Buddha was to save people from the abominable activity of animal killing and to save the poor animals from being unnecessarily killed. When Pasandis were cheating by killing animals on the plea of sacrificing them in Vedic yagyas, the Lord said, if the Vedic injunctions allow animal killing, I do not accept the Vedic principles. Thus, he actually saved people who acted according to Vedic principles. One should therefore surrender to Lord Buddha so that he can help one avoid misusing the injunctions of the Vedas. The Kalki avatar is the fierce incarnation who vanquishes the class of atheists born in this age of Kali. Now, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, many irreligious principles are in effect. And as Kali Yuga advances, many pseudo-religious principles will certainly be introduced, and people will forget the real religious principles enunciated by Lord Krishna before the beginning of Kali Yuga, namely principles of surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Unfortunately, because of Kali Yuga, foolish people do not surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Even most people who claim to belong to the Vedic system of religion are actually opposed to the Vedic principles. Every day they manufacture a new type of dharma on the plea that whatever one manufactures is also on the path of liberation. Atheistic men generally say, yata mata tata pata. According to this view, there are hundreds and thousands of different opinions in human society, and each opinion is a valid religious principle. This philosophy of rascals has killed the religious principles mentioned in the Vedas, and such philosophies will become increasingly influential as Kali Yuga progresses. In the last stage of Kali Yuga, Kalkidev, the fierce incarnation of Keshava, will descend to kill all the atheists and will save only the devotees of the Lord. Text 20, translation. May Lord Keshava protect me with his club in the first portion of the day, and may Govinda, who is always engaged in playing his flute, protect me in the second portion of the day. May Lord Narayana, who is equipped with all potencies, protect me in the third part of the day, and may Lord Vishnu, who carries a disc to kill his enemies, protect me in the fourth part of the day. Purport: according to the Vedic astronomical calculations, day and night are each divided into 30 gatikas, 24 minutes, instead of 12 hours. Generally, each day and night is divided into 6 parts consisting of 5 gatikas. In each of these 6 portions of the day and night, the Lord may be addressed for protection according to different names. Lord Keshava, the proprietor of the holy place of Mathura, is the Lord of the first portion of the day, and Govinda, the Lord of Vrindavan, is the master of the second portion. Text 21. May Lord Madhusudana, who carries a bow very fearful for the demons, protect me during the fifth part of the day. In the evening, may Lord Madhava, appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, protect me, and in the beginning of night, may Lord Hirshikesh protect me. At the dead of night, in the second and third parts of night, may Lord Padmanabha alone protect me. Text 22. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who bears the Srivatsa on his chest, protect me after midnight until the sky becomes pinkish. May Lord Janardana, who carries a sword in his hand, protect me at the end of night, during the last 4 gatikas of night. May Lord Damodar protect me in the early morning, and may Lord Vishveshvara protect me during the junctions of day and night. 23. Set into motion by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wandering in all the 4 directions, the disc of the Supreme Lord has sharp edges as destructive as the fire of devastation at the end of the millennium. As a blazing fire burns dry grass to ashes with the assistance of the breeze, may that Sudarshan Chakra burn our enemies to ashes. 24. O club, in the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you produce sparks of fire as powerful as thunderbolts, and you are extremely dear to the Lord. I am also his servant. Therefore, kindly help me pound to pieces the evil living beings known as Kushmandas, Vinayakas, Yakshas, Rakshashas, Bhutas, and Grahas. Please pulverize them. So these are ghosts and demons and whatnot. Text 25. O best of conch shells, O Panchajanya. We have Nartam joining us. O best of conch shells, O Panchajanya, in the hands of the Lord, you are always filled with the breath of Lord Krishna. Therefore, you create a fearful sound vibration that causes trembling in the hearts of enemies like the Rakshashas, Pramata ghosts, Pretas, Matas, Pishachas, and Brahmana ghosts with fearful eyes. So now, Tom Prabhu, we're reading from Canto 6, Chapter 8, the Narayana Kavacha shield. So we're in verse 26 now, and then we'll have some reflections afterwards. I'm pretty sure you know quite a bit about this particular chapter. So it'd be nice if you can share with us any information you have. Translation, text 26. O King of sharp-edged swords, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please cut the soldiers of my enemies to pieces. Please cut them to pieces, O shield marked with 100 brilliant moon-like circles. Please cover the eyes of the sinful enemies. pluck out their sinful eyes. 27, 28. May the glorification of the transcendental name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect us from the influence of bad planets, meteors, envious human beings, serpents, scorpions, and animals like tigers and wolves. May it protect us from ghosts and the material elements like earth, water, fire, and air. And may it also protect us from lightning and our past sins. We are always afraid of these hindrances to our auspicious life. Therefore, may they all be completely destroyed by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. 29. Lord Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, is the most worshipable Lord, for he is as powerful as the Supreme Lord himself. He is the personified Vedas and is worshipped by selected verses. May he protect us from all dangerous conditions, and may Lord Vishvakshena, the personality of Godhead, also protect us from all dangers by his holy names. It seems we have another guest joining us. We're reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 8, verse 30. I think there's 12 more verses, and then we'll have some reflections. Translation. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead's holy names, his transcendental forms, his carriers, and all the weapons decorating him as personal associates protect our intelligence, senses, mind, and life air from all dangers. Purport. There are various associates of the transcendental personality of Godhead, and his weapons and carrier are among them. In the spiritual world, nothing is material. The sword, bow, club, disc, and everything decorating the personality, decorating the personal body of the Lord are spiritual living force. Therefore, the Lord is called Advaya Jnana, indicating that there is no difference between him and his names, forms, qualities, weapons, and so on. Anything pertaining to him is in the same category of spiritual existence. They are all engaged in the service of the Lord in varieties of spiritual forms. Very interesting. 31, the subtle and gross cosmic manifestation is material, but nevertheless, it is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is ultimately the cause of all causes. Cause and effect are factually one because the cause is present in the effect. Therefore, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can destroy all our dangers by any of his potent parts. 32 and 33. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entities, the material energy, the spiritual energy, and the entire creation are all individual substances. In the ultimate analysis, however, together they constitute the Supreme One, the Personality of Godhead. Therefore, those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge see unity in diversity. For such advanced persons, the Lord's bodily decorations, his name, his fame, his attributes, and forms, and the weapons in his hand are manifestations of the strength of his potency. According to their elevated spiritual understanding, the omniscient Lord who manifests various forms is present everywhere. May he always protect us everywhere from all calamities. Purport. A person highly elevated in spiritual knowledge knows that nothing exists but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:4, where Lord Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam, indicating that everything we see is an expansion of his energy. This is confirmed in the Vishnu Purana 122:52. Ekadesha stitasya gir Jyotsna Vishtarini Yata Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tateram Akilam Jagat. As fire, although existing in one place, can expand its light and heat everywhere, so the omnipotent Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although situated in his spiritual abode, expands himself everywhere in both the material and spiritual worlds by his various energies. Since both cause and effect are the Supreme Lord, there is no difference between cause and effect. Consequently, the ornaments and weapons of the Lord, being expansions of his spiritual energy, are not different from him. There is no difference between the Lord and his variously presented energies. This is also confirmed in the Padma Purana. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasha Vigraha Purna Sudho Nitya Mukto Binatvanamanaminahom. The holy name of the Lord is fully identical with the Lord, not partially. The word Purna means complete. The Lord is omnipotent and omniscient. And similarly, his name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and everything pertaining to him are complete, pure, eternal, and free from material contamination. The prayer to the ornaments and carriers of the Lord is not false, for they are as good as the Lord. Since the Lord is all pervasive, he exists in everything, and everything exists in him. Therefore, even worship of the Lord's weapons or ornaments has the same potency as worship of the Lord. Mayavadis, or impersonalists, refuse to accept the form of the Lord, or they say that the form of the Lord is Maya or false. But one should note very carefully that this is not acceptable. Although the Lord's original form and his impersonal expansion are one, the Lord maintains his form, qualities, and abode eternally. Therefore, this prayer says, Patu sarve swarupir nasada sarvatra samaga. May the Lord, who is all pervasive in his various forms, protect us everywhere. The Lord is always present everywhere by his name, form, qualities, attributes, and paraphernalia, and they all have equal power to protect the devotees. Srila Madhvacharya explains this as follows. Eka eva paro vishnur busha heti dwas jvajaha touch chakti pradatvena swayam eva vyavastitaha satyena nena mam deva patu sarvish varohari. 34. Prahlad Maharaj loudly chanted the holy name of Lord Nrsingadev. May Lord Nrsingadev, roaring for his devotee Prahlad Maharaj, protect us from all fear of dangers created by stalwart leaders in all directions through poison, weapons, water, fire, air, and so on. May the Lord cover their influence by his own transcendental influence. May Lord Nrsingadev protect us in all directions and in all corners, above, below, within, and without. 35. Vishvarup continued, O Indra, this mystic armor related to Lord Narayana has been described by me to you. By putting on this protective covering, you will certainly be able to conquer the leaders of the demons. 36. If one employs this armor, whomever he sees with his eyes or touches with his feet is immediately freed from all the above mentioned dangers. Wow. 37. This prayer, the Narayan Kavacha, constitutes subtle knowledge transcendentally connected with Narayana. One who employs this prayer is never disturbed or put in danger by the government, by plunderers, by evil demons, or by any type of disease. 38. O King of Heaven, a Brahmana named Kaushika formerly used this armor when he purposely gave up his body in the desert by mystic power. 39. Surrounded by many beautiful women, Chitraratha, the king of Gandharva Loka, was once passing in his airplane over the Brahmana's body at the spot where the Brahmana had died. 40. Suddenly, Chitraratha was forced to fall from the sky headfirst with his airplane. Struck with wonder, he was ordered by the great sages named the Valikilyas to throw the Brahmana's bones in the nearby river Saraswati. He had to do this and bathe in the river before returning to his own abode. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, My dear Maharaj Parikshit, one who employs this armor or hears about it with faith and veneration, when afraid because of any conditions in the material world, is immediately freed from all dangers and is worshipped by all living entities. 42. King Indra, who performed 100 sacrifices, received this prayer of protection from Vishvarup. After conquering the demons, he enjoyed all the opulences of the three worlds. Purport. This mystic mantric armor given by Vishvarup to Indra, the king of heaven, acted powerfully with the effect that Indra was able to conquer the Asuras and enjoy the opulence of the three worlds without impediments. In this regard, Madhvacharya points out Vidya Karmani Chasara Guru Prapta Phala Pradaha Anyanta Naiva Phaladha Prasanokta Phala Pradaha. One must receive all kinds of mantras from a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, the mantras will not be fruitful. This is also indicated in the Bhagavad Gita 4:34. Tadvidi prani patena pariprashnena sevaya upadiksyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. All mantras should be received through the authorized guru, and the disciple must satisfy the guru in all respects after surrendering at his lotus feet. In the Padma Purana, it is also said, Sampradaya Vihina, Ye Mantras Te Nishphalamataha. There are 4 Sampradayas or disciplic successions, namely the Brahma Sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya, the Shri Sampradaya, and the Kumara Sampradaya. If one wants to advance in the spiritual power, one must receive his mantras from one of these bona fide sampradayas. Otherwise, he will never successfully advance in spiritual life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 6th canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled the Narayana Kavacha Shield. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gnajana Shalakaya Chaksuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutle Swayam Rupagada Mayam Badati Swa Padati Kam. Namo Vishnu Badaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutle Srimati Guru Prasad Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Badaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutle Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastatya Desatarne. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I guess we'll kind of just leave it open for any sort of reflections. I mean, it's what we've just invocated is very powerful. I was once going through kind of a personal challenge, just to be very open, with some supernatural kind of disturbances that were happening. And I was speaking with a devotee, and they were saying the importance of chanting the Narayana Kavacha Shield, which is something that I chanted. And they were saying that they actually see that when their husband chants this and he does, the whole routine that was stated in the beginning of this chanter, that they can actually see somewhat of a shield around their husband, somewhat of an effulgence. So I guess just to lead off with a few comments, I really enjoy the amount of detail that goes into these prayers, especially when we're speaking about Krishna's armor, right? So you might have heard some terms in there like his Sudarshan chakra, which is like, you'll see that the four-armed form of Vishnu, there's always like a disc, and this is Krishna's weapon. He uses this to chop off the heads of the demons when they come to challenge him. So we can even pray to Krishna's paraphernalia and get the same benefit, which is extremely far out. And then here at the end, when we're speaking of this pastime, I think it was 40 or 41. There's some personalities that are mentioned. The Vahikilyas, I believe, were mentioned. But anyways, I read about them too, these personalities some time ago, and they're like the size of a thumb, basically. And what they do is they help the orbit of the sun. And I believe there's about 60,000 of them that are helping the wheel of the chariot go around for the sun god. So I just thought that was far out that they're mentioned again. So yeah, I mean, it's meant to help us kind of understand that there are many different varieties and forms of the Lord that we can approach at any given moment, as it was saying, the form of Vamana Dev on earth, the form of the Matsya avatar to protect us in water, and so on and so forth. And the power of this mantra is that we're invoking and we're being allowed to remember all these different forms of the Lord in just 42 different texts. And what I find most interesting and powerful about all of this is how Prabhupada is concluding on this chapter the importance of empowerment through the parampara, through guru. So of course we can definitely pray to Krishna for protection, but without that empowerment through our guru, we will fail to understand the cause and the effect of what Krishna's showing us, right? So this is one kind of advantage of being a devotee. It's a huge advantage when living in the material world as we are, is that we get to see that everything's happening according to Krishna's will and Krishna's desire, the cause and the effect. So I just like to open it up for discussion. There's a lot that we just read and unpacked, and it's kind of more of an intimate scripture per se. So whatever y'all like to bring up, Narottam Prabhu, Dayananda Prabhu, please share. I'm all ears. I'd like to hear.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a few reflections. I'm going through this. First of all, is within the context. This is within the context of Indra's fight with Vritrasura, and so there are a couple of things related to that. And then the whole Narayana Kavacha prayer itself, and the last purport of what the last thing that Prabhupada says. So first of all, within the context of this fight between Indra and Vritrasura, it's a very interesting story, and the story itself is in one of the Vedas. I think it's even within Rig Veda. It's considered to be one of the, I don't know how to say it, but anyway, it's there in the Veda. So the story goes that in brief, this Brahmin wanted to have a son who would defeat Indra, but he mispronounced one of the mantras, and so he got a son who was defeated by Indra. So instead of defeating Indra, it was defeated by Indra, and that was Vritrasura. And it's a wonderful exchange between, when they actually fight, it's a wonderful exchange between Indra and Vritrasura, because at one point Indra was having difficulty in the fight, and Vritrasura had to urge him on to fight. He was basically saying that we have to do our duty and we have to face our destiny. So I once looked into what is that mispronunciation. It was an extremely subtle mispronunciation. Like we mispronounce these Sanskrit words by mistaking what's a short A or a long A, or which sound this thing makes. But in Vedic Sanskrit, there were intonations that classical Sanskrit no longer has. And the mispronunciation was just one of those intonations. It wasn't actually the mispronunciation of a word as we know it. So that's one point. The other point is that, of course, devotees can interpret this however they want, because you were talking about how a devotee one devotee likes to chant this for protection, and it's certainly that, there's no harm in that. But one way I interpret this last statement that Prabhupada makes all mantras should be received through the authorized guru, and the disciple must satisfy the guru in all respects. This is Prabhupada's comment on Tadvidhi Pranapatena Parikrishnena Sevaya. The last section of the last verse is purport. So we didn't exactly receive, this mantra was given by Visharup to Indra. So it wasn't exactly given to us. I mean, we can read it in the Bhagavatam, but we do have another mantra which is very similar to that. I used to know it, but I've forgotten it. It's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It goes, Lalate Keshwan Jai Narayana Todare Vakshasthale Madhavam tu Govindam Kantikupake Vishnum cha Dakshine Kuksho Bahau cha Madhusudanam Trivikramam Khandre tu Vamanam Vamaparkshave Sridharam Vamabahau tu Shikesham tu Khandre Prishte cha Padmanabham cha Krityang Damodaram Yase, which is the mantra, the 3 shlokas that we chant when we put on tilak. So we put on tilak in 12 places of the body, which is a little similar to this whole Narayana Kavacha, which is extremely elaborate, touching here, saying this mantra, that mantra. You have to say Om Namo Narayanaya. I don't know if you noticed, but on the one verse it says, you say Om Namo Narayanaya. And then you say, for each place, you say Om Na Mo Na Ra Ya Na Ya. And then you go in reverse. Ya, how's you go? Om Namo Narayanaya. You go Ya Na and go back all the way in reverse. You have to chant the mantra. So it's a very interesting idea. As a matter of fact, that chanting in reverse is also part of the tradition, but that's another thing. But we have a lot of mantras that are given by our spiritual master, by our gurus. The first, the most important, is the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then when one wants to become a Brahmin, that's a little more advanced, then we have a series of mantras that begin Om Bhur Bhuva Swatat Savitur Varenyam, like that, and then continue on. It's called the Gayatri mantra, and we chant several versions of the Gayatri mantra, and then even more advanced, there's a sannyas mantra. So there's a lot of mantras within the ancient tradition. There are so many mantras for doing everything. There's mantras for drinking water. There's mantras. So many mantras. One time I asked my friend, there was some mantra. He said, when you wake up, you should chant, there's one verse from the Bhagavatam. When you wake up, it's Jayato Jananivaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parashat Soyardobhira Dharmam. And that goes on. That's only half of it. So we used to sometimes wake up in the temples chanting that verse. And then, so I was asking one time my friend Pradyumna, who studied Sanskrit and who knew a lot of these ins and outs. So he told me once there's a mantra for evacuating also. So when you go to the bathroom, you sit down and you chant, "Go away, all demigods, I'm going to evacuate now." I want my privacy. So that's going a little too far. But the point I was trying to make, though, is that we have these mantras, the basic mantras, And of course, some devotees can chant that Narayana Kavacha, but we have our other sort of Narayana Kavacha. We have this protection of 12 places on the body that we put tilak. So it's in, where is it? It's in the Madhya Lila, chapter 20, verse 202, that Lalate Kesham Dhyayan Narayanam Todare Bhakshastale Madhavam Tu. So that's the mantra that we chant. That's similar to this, in a way, it's almost like an extremely abbreviated version of that Narayana Kavacha. So this is something we've been given through our Chaitanya Sampradaya and through Prabhupada. And you had the, sorry, I was just looking at the translation to that Lalate Ketram Kayan. So that's directly given by the Guru, and all these other mantras as well. I mean, there are some mantras, and the sannyas mantra for those who take sannyas, and so it's, but it comes back to this basic thing that we start with the Hare Krishna mantra, and there is the view, it's a valid view, that all mantras are contained within the Hare Krishna mantra. That if we chant any other mantra, it's like an extension or an embellishment of the basic Hare Krishna mantra. But all mantras are contained in that one Maha mantra. Anyway, that's all I had.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? Narottam Prabhu, I don't think that your microphone's on, so I don't know if you would be able to share or if you'd like to share. Would anybody else, Naradi, would you like to share anything that you heard that kind of stuck out to you? And I don't know who Galaxy S10 is. Also, please feel free to chime in.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Hari.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Okay. Anybody would like to share anything that they heard, or how you feel about Krishna's protection? Sometimes we're in anxiety and we don't realize that there's a bigger plan at hand, personally, I feel like this is a really nice just reminder to take shelter of Krishna at all circumstances, at all, as much as possible, through difficulties, especially through what we're going through now. And I think it's really nice to come together and read. I think that, the classes and the talks and preparing for talks are nice, but just the importance of reading and hearing together is also really empowering. And I think that that's what really can glue and hold and maintain communities together, because at that point, it's just like pure Prabhupada, it's pure Shastra in the center. And of course, we can always toss around reflections. So I guess if there's no further comments or reflections, we can just probably do a little kirtan. But Nardi, it looks like you have your microphone on. Did you want to share something?
Well, since we were talking about reflections, I like the point that Dayananda Prabhu made, that how the Maha Mantra is encompassing all mantras. And when we were going through the reading, I was just thinking, like, this is so complex. Like, there's so many, avatars and times of day and things like that. And I was also thinking about how, like, degraded Kali Yuga is, and how degraded, me as a human being. It would take me a long time to remember all of that. But if I can just take shelter of the Maha Mantra, then there's some hope. And Krishna and Prabhupada have made it so simple that we can just take shelter of one mantra. And yes, of course, learn as much as we can, but that is there for us.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually, as Dayanand Prabhu told, first of all, obeisances to all the devotees present here and to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. The thing is, like Dayanand Prabhu was telling, that there are various other mantras. The Gayatri mantra is one of the powerful mantra in in the Hindu religion, as well as with it's not related to Hindu, but it's a very powerful mantra followed by most of the countries also. Even different countries, they are reciting this mantra in their schools, because this mantra is improving a lot of memory power and lot of concentration. It is improving the concentration. Everyone is accepting the power of this mantra. It's Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. So this mantra, the vibrations that come from this mantra are really very powerful. So if we recite this, um I don't mean that this is the only powerful mantra, but apart from our Hare Krishna mantra, this is also one of the mantra which most of the people chant.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
We also have this mantra in ISKCON. Prabhupada gave this mantra, but this mantra is reserved for the those who are initiated this in the second initiation. The first initiation we call Harinam Diksha, and the second one is the Brahmana Diksha. So the Brahmana Diksha, we get that Om Bhur Bhuva Swatat Sabitur, and then there are also some other mantras that we chant along with that. But yes.
Yeah, there are some few Swasti Vachan mantras Om Vishwani Deva Savitara Duritani Parasuva Yadbadram Tanna Asuva. So these are few mantras they are chanting when they are doing the Havan, like when they are offering the sacrifice to the fire god.
Yes, but again, this in the purport, Prabhupada emphasizes, let me just read this one more time. In the last verse to this series, Narayana Kavacha, he says that, oh, I lost the marker. Here it is. Prabhupada emphasizes that, well, first of all, he says it twice. He says that Mudvacharya indicates that Vidya Karmani Chasada Guru Prapta. Guru Prapta, Prapta means to acquire, and Guru means from the Guru. Then it says Pala Prada. Prada means to give, the pala, the fruit. So when one receives it from the Guru, one gets the fruit. Anyatha, otherwise, na eva palada, then otherwise you don't get the fruit. It's palada. Da means to give, and pala means fruit. So if you don't get it from the Guru, you don't, the mantra won't be fruitful. And then Prabhupada again restates the same thing, that at the very bottom, last paragraph of the purport, all mantras should be received through the authorized Guru, and the disciple must satisfy the Guru in all respects. And Padma Purana also, Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantras Te Nishpala. So Nishpala means, pala means fruit, and Nishpala means it's not fruitful. So Sampradaya Vihina, Vihina means vina, means without. So outside of the Sampradaya, Ye Mantras, whatever mantras are outside of the Sampradaya are Te Nishpala. So they're not fruitful. So that's an important, we consider, at least, the followers of Prabhupada, we consider that's an important item. And of course, there are many, within the Indian tradition, within all traditions, there are many mantras, but this story of Vritrasura especially emphasizes that within that context, the mantra has to be correctly recited. In the Vedic era, anything could be done with mantras. The power of mantra is incredible. But the same point is there that if it's not chanted properly, then it's not effective. And then Prabhupada, within the modern context, within our day and age, is in the Kali Yuga, as stated by Madhvacharya and Padma Purana and Prabhupada, that we have to receive the mantra for it to be fruitful. We have to receive it, meaning from the Guru and from the Parampara. So that's our system.
Prabhu, actually, this mantra, it was like taught to us in when we were the kids in the school. It was received from, it was told to us from our teachers, and it was also told to us from priests also.
Oh yes,
Like,
it's everywhere. Oh, certainly. Once I was in the hospital in Vrindavan for some reason, and they used to broadcast it over the loudspeaker. Om Bhur, you know,
yeah.
you could hear it through the whole neighborhood. So yes, I know everyone knows this. In the past, it was secret. Nobody was, only that Brahmana class was chanting it, or at least so they say. That's what I understand. But then in maybe last 100 years, something like that, it's become widespread. Anyone can say that mantra. But our system is to receive from the Guru.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
I'm not trying to criticize. I don't mean to criticize that people are chanting any mantra. That's fine. But I'm just explaining. This is just our system that Prabhupada gives.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Anybody else like to share anything or? Okay, so maybe we can just conclude with like a little 3-minute kirtan here or something like that. And then tomorrow, Dayananda Prabhu, tomorrow you're going to be speaking about conspiracies, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called, what do I call it? The greatest conspiracy is losing everything, something like that.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah.
Can't hear you at all.
I think you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
Okay, well, my mic's on.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
I think it just gets covered with something, or I don't know.
Okay. No, I was saying I really wish we could hear from Narottam Prabhu right now, but I think his microphone's off. I wanted to see if he had anything to add about this particular chapter. Next time, I guess. So we'll go ahead and share. And then we'll just do a little bit of chanting. And then tomorrow we'll Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all so much. So tomorrow at 6:30, Dayananda Prabhu will be speaking. And I think we should probably add on another day of the week where we could just read like this again for an hour. I think it's really refreshing. Thank you all again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.